Hey guys, this is Abhishek from GadgetReviews.com, and today we are going to do a full review and unboxing of Vami Passion Z. Here we have the package, and this is how the Vami Passion Z package looks like. We have the phone photo at the front of the package, as you can see, and this is how the phone should look. And if we take a look at the back side of the box, we have some specifications mentioned. So it has 5-inch high definition IPS LCD display, and the resolution is 1080 into 920, and the processor is 1.2 GHz quad core MediaTek 6589. Have dual SIM support on this device. One slot is for 2G, another is for 3G, both GSM. You have 12 megapixel camera at the back, which does support burst shot as well, and you have a 2 megapixel front camera, which is a fixed focus camera. At the back camera you do have autofocus supported, and then you have Android 4.2 running on this device out of the box. You have GPS with assisted GPS support on this device, and you have full high definition video record capability at 1080p as well as at 720p, and it should be able to play the high definition video as well, both at 720p as well as at 1080p. And you have a 25 milliampere battery on this device, 4 GB of internal memory, and then you have 1 GB of RAM, and you have a micro SD memory card slot on the device to expand the storage. So let's unbox the device and take a look what we have in the package. The first thing which we have in the package is Vami Passion Z, as you can see, and this is how the device looks like. You have the Wicked Leak logo printed at the back side or on the bottom, and we will just give you an overview of the device. Let's take a look what we have in the package. So we get a screen protector within the package, as you can see. We get a universal USB wall charger, again US pin, so you will have to buy an adapter. Adapter doesn't come within the package, and then you have the micro USB to USB cable for data syncing and charging, as you can see. And you have an extra battery which comes within the package, which is again 2500 milliampere hour, because we already have inserted the battery inside the device. And let me just show you the device from the back side. We get 2 batteries within the package, which is good for this device, and these are all the things which we get in the package. You will also get a headphone within the package, but we don't have them now. So now here we have the Vami Passion Z, and this device looks fairly slim in terms of the overall thickness if we talk about, and again the overall design of the device is pretty good. It again looks very much similar to the iOcean X7, but it is not exactly the same. And before I actually start my review, let me just give you a hardware overview of the device. First of all, at the bottom you have the micro USB port here for data syncing and charging. You have a primary mic over here. On this side, on the left, on the top, you have the volume rocker, which is a single button. Chrome finish again gives you good amount of feedback. At the top you have the mic 3.5mm audio jack, as you can see, for the headphones, and on this side you have the power and sleep key. On the front you have the nice earpiece over here, which is within the glass, and you do have a front camera and a proximity sensors which are not visible easily. I don't know whether you can see it or not, but here is the front camera and the proximity sensors are over here. And when we talk about the touch capacitive buttons, we have the touch capacitive buttons within the body of the phone, not within the display. And again, the display on this phone is full high definition display, and if you actually take a closer look over the display, as you can see, this is how the text look like on the display, and I do not notice any kind of pixelation of the text or anything on this particular display. So the display is quite good, and the viewing angles for the display are also quite wide, as you can see. Now firstly, talking about the physical design of the phone, the design of the phone is pretty good. It has the plastic over here, and the back side is again plastic. You have a matte finish back cover over here, which is removable, and you get 2 batteries inside the package on the Vami Passion Z. You have a 2500 milliampere hour battery which we are using, and you do have an additional battery which comes within the package. Again, it is a dual SIM phone, as you can see, and you have a micro SD card slot. So these are the 2 dual SIM slot. The first is the second SIM slot is a normal SIM slot, whereas the first one will accept a micro SIM. Here you have the memory card slot for expanding the storage of the device. When it comes to the storage, it has an inbuilt storage of 4 GB, and you can expand it with the micro SD memory card, and we will just tell you whether you can install apps on the micro SD memory card or not. When we talk about the camera, here we have the 12 megapixel camera with LED flash over here, and here you have the loudspeaker over here at the back side. In terms of the overall form factor, this phone is fairly good in terms of the width because it fits easily into your hand. There is no problem in carrying this device whenever you are going. It will easily go into your jeans pocket very nicely without any issues. And again, the weight of the device is also not very high, so it is fairly light. The high definition display and a good form factor. The build quality of the device is also pretty good. Again, you have nice quality of plastic which has been used to manufacture this phone. You have glass at the top, and the back you have plastic back cover. As far as the processor is concerned, we have a 1.2 GHz quad-core MediaTek MT6589 chipset. So you have a 1.2 GHz quad-core processor on the device, and you have GPU which is PowerVR SGX 544MP. When it comes to the screen, you have 5-inch of high definition display, the IPS LCD display on this device, and again the display is pretty good. Now talking about the lock screen, this is how the lock screen look like. You can easily unlock the phone. You can also launch Google Now from here as well, and if we unlock it, we have like 5 home screens, and you cannot increase or decrease these home screens. Let me just take a look over the version of Android. So it seems to be running 4.2 as of now, and let me just check for the same. So as you can see, it is running 4.2.1. You have storage over here. The storage is 4 GB internal memory, and out of 4 GB you have around 1.48 GB which is reserved by operating system for pre-installed applications and other data, whereas 1.29 GB of the phone storage is actually available to the user, and you do have the option to add a micro SD memory card to expand the storage. And you can also select the preferred default write disk. That means you can also select where you would like to install the application. In case you have an SD card, you can select that, and you also have the option to select the preferred install location, as you can see, which will get active once we insert SD card into this device. Now this device has 1 GB of RAM, and right now as you can see we have around 367 MB of RAM which is free, and 594 MB of RAM is used, which is quite okay, but we have actually expected that the RAM could have been more when it comes to the free RAM usage on this device. As you can see, this device does support automatic brightness because of the proximity sensor again. And if we take a look over the wallpaper support, you have support for the static wallpapers, live wallpaper, but you do not have video wallpaper support on this device. You also have support for GPS navigation on this device. That means you can use this device for navigation, but before you can use that, make sure you turn on the GPS satellite option over here, and you also need to enable GPS EP assistance and assisted GPS before you can start using navigation on this device. Now as far as the display is concerned, in terms of the overall color saturation and rendering of colors, we have actually taken this photo again from the back camera on this device, and when it comes to the rendering of colors, we do not find that the display is very vibrant in terms of colors, but it is a kind of a smooth display which does not cause any kind of strain on your eyes when you watch it. And again, it is pretty crisp and clear when it comes to the colors and the quality of any high definition wallpaper which you are actually viewing on this device. Now to show you the responsiveness of the touchscreen as well as the gaming capability of this device, we are going to play Temple Run OZ for you so that you can actually see how does this device actually perform when it comes to gaming. So as far as rendering of graphics are concerned, it is pretty okay but not very smooth. The touchscreen is pretty responsive, but the graphics are not very smooth as we can notice right now. But again, this game is running for the first time, so it could be because of that. But still the graphics are okay, and the draw distance for the game is also pretty good. There is no problem. And as far as the sensors are concerned, the sensors are also working pretty well. The gravity sensor, let me just test the gravity sensor now. So the gravity sensor is also working pretty well on this device. As you can see, there is no problem. As you can see, this is how the camera UI looks like, and when it comes to the camera UI, you do have support for the beautification mode. You can take panorama photos as well, and you also have support for the multi-angle view shot over here, and you have some other modes, some more modes basically over here. As you can see, you can specify the kind of scene in which you are taking the photo. Here you can actually preview the photos which we have already taken, and then you have the video mode over here. And when it comes to video, you also have the option of pausing the video in between if you are not finished with it, and you can again resume it later on. If we go to the settings, first of all you have the GPS location and other settings over here. Under the photo settings you find that this device does support burst shot as well, and you can take 99 shots maximum. You can also enable zero shutter delay so that you can take fast photos within a short span of time. And this is how the preview window will look like. You can always make it full screen if you want the overall viewfinder from the camera to be in full screen. And if we take a look over here, the device has the capability of recording high definition videos at 1080p as well as at 720p. So this is a photo which we have captured in low light in an indoor room, and again the photo is not very good in terms of the clarity as you can see, but again in terms of the overall colors it is pretty okay. And then we have some other photos which are captured in indoor light. They are again pretty good depending the kind of light you have when you are actually capturing the photos. And then we have some daylight photos which are actually very good in terms of the overall clarity. As you can see, this photo is again pretty good in terms of the clarity as well as in terms of the colors, again because of daylight. So the camera does perform pretty good as you can see in daylight, but when it comes to low light you can always use flash, but if you don't use flash, the camera, the quality of the photos which you will get will not be that good. This is how the phone dialers look like, and as you can see the keys on the phone dialer are pretty big to dial any number, and you do have the option of making a video call directly from the phone dialer. As far as messaging application is concerned, you have a stock Android messaging application on this device, little customized basically in terms of the look and feel. You have a stock Android kind of a keyboard over here, and it does not support continuous typing as you can see. And when it comes to the typing experience, I did not face any problem while typing on this device because the keys on the keyboard are pretty big and there is no problem as far as typing is concerned on this 5-inch display. As far as the apps which you get pre-installed on the device, you get a file manager pre-installed, you also get FM radio pre-installed. As far as other applications you are looking at, you also get some other standard application pre-installed like video player, the wireless input device which will allow you to connect a Bluetooth keyboard with this device, and you also get the update system application which will allow you to update the Android version on this device without you requiring to connect this device to a PC. As far as the apps which you get pre-installed on the device, you get a file manager pre-installed, you also get FM radio pre-installed. As far as other applications you are looking at, you also get some other standard application pre-installed like video player, the wireless input device which will allow you to connect a Bluetooth keyboard with this device, and you also get the update system application which will allow you to update the Android version on this device without you requiring to connect this device to a PC. This is how the browser looks like, and as you can see the front page of the browser, the main home page, is actually optimized to make it look different. Apart from that, it is the stock Android browser. I do not notice any other customization apart from the home page which we are seeing over here on this browser. Now the browser has actually loaded a website and it has loaded in the mobile phone format, and when it comes to kinetic scrolling there is no problem with the browser as you can see, and it does give you a full screen browsing experience except for the status bar which is at the top, which does not get hidden, but the address bar gets hidden when you do the kinetic scrolling. And if we talk about pinch to zoom is again pretty fluid, and the rendering of the text is quite precise, crisp and clear. There is no problem with that as well. I do not notice any pixelation. And then when it comes to double tap to zoom works quite nice without any issues. And in the widget department, I do not notice any specific new widget which is specifically designed for this phone. All the widgets which I see over here are a part of Android 4.2, so there are no customized widgets as such on this device. So as you can see, we are right now trying to play a YouTube video on this device, and let's see whether the video plays in high definition format or not. This is a high definition video which is going to be played on this device, and the resolution at which it is playing is high definition, again because of the full high definition resolution which we get on this device. So as you can see, the video is right now playing and there is no issue as far as the playback is concerned. Again, the quality of the overall, now this is how the quality looks like when it comes to playing a high definition video on this device. And again, the viewing angles are quite good, if not very wide on this device, and the video is right now playing in full screen. I do not notice any black bars above or bottom or on the right and left. So as you can see, we have inserted an SD card onto the device, and you can actually select the preferred install location. We can specify an SD card, so it will use the SD card as the internal storage. When it comes to the apps which you have on the phone memory, you have the option of moving them to the SD card on this device. We have done a couple of calls during our review while we were using this device as a primary device. I do not notice any kind of problem when it comes to the sound which was coming out from the earpiece, as well as if you actually use the earphones with this particular device, the earphones are pretty good when it comes to the sound clarity. There was no issue which we noticed. You do have mic module in the earphones as well, on which comes with this particular device. As far as the Antutu scores are concerned, we have got 11,683 on this device, which is quite an okay score for this device. It is not very impressive score, but again, for a budget device like this, it is pretty good. Now, as far as Ninamark scores are concerned, we have got an average score of around 28.1 FPS, which is quite a low score if we actually talk about a device like this. But again, because this is a budget device, you can't actually expect much. When it comes to the gaming, it does support the high-end graphic intensive games like Dead Trigger, Asphalt 7, Need for Speed and other games, and we have also played Nova 3 on this device. In the very high graphic intensive games like Mortal Kombat 4 may run on this device, but with a graphic lag. As far as casual games are concerned, Subway Surfer, Temple Run, OZ and all other casual games ran pretty fine on this device. And when it comes to the CPU, you have 1.2 GHz CPU, which is a 4-core CPU, again quad-core processor. And here we have the resolution of the device. The effective resolution is 1080 into 1920, and you have the PowerVR SGX 544MP as the GPU on the device. And when it comes to the sensors, these are all the sensors which are there on this device. We have the 3-axis accelerometer sensor, proximity, light, gyro, 3-axis magnetic field, rotation, gravity, linear acceleration, orientation and a corrected gyroscope sensor on this device. Here we have the Quadrant standard benchmark score for this device, and the total score is 3823 as you can see, and this is how the device ranks when it comes to comparing this device with the other devices. And when we take a look over the detailed score, this is how the detailed score look like for the CPU, memory, input output operation, 2D and 3D as you can see. When it comes to the OTG support on this device does not seem to support OTG, because whenever we try plugging a flash drive like this with an OTG cable onto the device, nothing happens on the device. And if we actually try to explore the contents of the flash drive with the file manager which is there, we cannot actually access the contents on the flash drive from the file manager. So now, as far as the battery life is concerned on this device, we have got a 2500 mAh battery on this device, which actually lasted for us like more than 1 day most of the time during our 2 weeks review, and we did not face any problem with the device. With heavy usage, it lasts for you for around 1 day, and if you have any problem even with the battery backup on this device, you have an extra battery which comes within the package. Comes to sharing internet option is concerned, you have the support for creating a Wi-Fi hotspot from this device, so that you can share the 3G internet in the form of a Wi-Fi with other devices. You do have USB tethering supported on the device, and Bluetooth tethering is also supported on this device as you can see. With the audio enhancement option, you also have an audio enhancement option within the sound settings as you can see over here, which will make sure that you listen to the good quality of sound which will come through the headphones which come within the package of this device. For those who are wondering whether this device has LED notification, there is no LED on this device for notifications. As far as the quick hands-on review of the Vimy Passion Z, we like this device. As far as the overall capabilities of this device is concerned, it comes for a price of around 14,000 Indian rupees approximately, and you can easily buy this device from the Wicked League website. If you have any specific question for this device, we would love to help you. You can leave them in the comment section below. You can like this video if this video helped you by clicking the like.